once again to the Forward Compatible Podcast. This is episode 103, part 1, for January 26, 2014. I almost had it. I almost fucking had it. My name's Tony. I'm joined, as always, by my fellow podcasters, Jason and Bryan. Mark is... At work. He might catch the tail end of part 2. You guys will find out in a few days. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, tonight's the Royal Rumble. So we couldn't wait for Mark to get off, but he is coming over later to watch the Royal Rumble, so...
We'll probably... You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking we make Mark do, after the Rumble, do a retro run of playing WWF Royal Rumble.
It's a fantabulous idea, good sir.
There we go. Bringing it full circle. Riding on the Segway.
Yeah. All right, I suppose we kick off the show with our weekly roundtable and catch everybody up on what we've been playing since the last time we all spoke. Bryan.
I can start. I actually got to play some video games.
Did you?
Since the last time I was here.
Video games?
Video games.
What's a video game?
Video games.
What's that? Where are we?
I played some Mario Kats.
Oh, yeah?
Finally.
Okay, where are you?
I'm only in World 1 still. I'm like halfway through World 1.
Okay. So, because I was going to ask you about the first boss scene because I want to talk about that. All right, go ahead.
I'll get there soon.
Yeah, okay.
I've only played it on the Wii remote. I haven't played it on the big screen because I've been playing it while I try to catch up on my DVR stuff that I haven't watched because I've been so busy writing for like a month.
You mean you're playing it on the tablet screen?
Yeah, the tablet.
Oh, okay. You said the Wii remote. Then I was like,
yeah, sorry.
Because you can, but you'd still be playing off the TV.
Right, yeah, no, sorry. I'm playing on the tablet. And then I started replaying Castlevania Symphony of the Night, one of my favorite games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't played that in a while.
Castlevania ever made.
Oh, yes, absolutely. If I was on a desert island, or not if I was on a desert island, if someone put a gun to my head and made me choose between Super Metroid or Castlevania Symphony of the Night, they'd have to shoot me. They'd have to kill me.
Just kill me, fuck it.
I'm done, all right. And then I played a little bit of Ali Ali, that new Vita game.
How is that?
It's all right.
Because that thing just screams, this will be free on PlayStation Plus in 2 weeks.
It should be. I think it is too expensive.
No,
it's like $15 or $12 or something like that. It's a little high. I bought it for $10 because I'm a PS Plus member.
Yeah. No, I've been on Plus for almost 2.5 years or something now, and you just you kind of get a taste for it, and you're kind of like, this will be free in 2 months. I already know. This will be one of the next free games.
Like that Ibn Ob game or whatever.
Yeah. You just see stuff like that, and you're like, this is going to be free in a little bit.
Yeah, it's
like
fun.
Bioshock.
That was such a shock that was free.
That I didn't see coming.
I did not see that coming, yeah. And then I also finally played a round of Flower and got a really interesting achievement in Flower.
Oh, yeah?
If you step out of the game on the PS4, I don't know if this works on the PS3 or the is there a Vita version?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on the Vita version, but on the PS4 version, if you finish a level, and then
no, it's not on Vita. Flow's
I didn't think
on
so.
Vita.
Flow's on Vita, yeah. So if you exit out of the game using the PS button, don't quit the game. Just exit out and go back to the main menu. If you don't do anything Flower related for 10 minutes, I was just going through my achievements and stuff or my trophies. Sorry,
you accidentally pop a trophy.
It gives you a trophy for taking a 10-minute break.
That's fucking cool.
It's called playing healthful or something like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
It was kind of cool. So that's me for the week.
How much yourself, good sir?
I've got a new hobby.
Masturbating?
No, that's an old hobby.
I just figured you maybe just discovered
old
it.
hobby.
I'm an old hand at that.
No. We started our new little series called Retro Run 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Was Pokemon first one?
Yeah.
Concept is we sit down, we play some games for a few minutes, do some audio over it, and that's kind of it. Pretty straightforward. Except with, our classic twist on it. But I got us streaming on Twitch this past week, and I did, I did a Link to the Past for 2 nights.
Nice.
Which Moss jumped on and made fun of me a lot.
So that's the one reason, not to interrupt, that I'm maybe I shouldn't do a retro run of Castlevania or Super Metroid. Because I'm not going to play like the speedrunners do. I'm not going to do the backwards slide through all of Castlevania. And I'm not going to sequence break too much in Super Metroid.
He wasn't making fun of me for that.
Okay.
I was on the, is it the desert boss? caterpillar thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what its name is.
Was it
Moss
when all the
knows.
soldiers bounce around that one, or is it?
No. It's the one where it's like the 4 bubbles and you gotta whack them, but if he hits you, you fall off the
Oh
platform.
yeah.
Again, I don't remember the
The
name
tower.
of
It's like the Tower of Hera, isn't it? Or is
Yeah,
it-
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on him. Motherfucker knocked
where
me
you
down.
got where you got him in the ass.
Yeah.
I was like, who is he talking
Motherfucker
about?
knocked me down
Mm-hmm.
23 times.
Because when I heard you saying he knocks you off the platform, I was thinking of that big circle guy.
And then I forgot to get the pearl
Okay.
at first.
So you had to
but
go
then-
back up and get it?
But then Moss and our buddy Johnny Morsey were talking shit to me on the chat, so I went and got it. But yeah, I kept having to go back up. And like 23 times.
That
It was like an
sucks.
hour.
Does it?
Because my timing isn't what it used to be. I hadn't played it in a while. Ace was being a little annoying because he was sitting at the window barking.
Does the boss regenerate if you fall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get him down to the
23
last one
times?
and just right off the head. And I'm playing with the PlayStation 3 controller, which does not feel the same. I'm adjusting to it, but it's still taking some time.
Are you doing USB direct or using over Bluetooth?
USB direct.
Okay. At least you're doing that, getting the lag
Yeah.
out.
And then you've got the owner of Zelda Dungeon sitting there watching you.
Yeah.
So there's some pressure.
Yeah.
There's some pressure. When he says, "This is horrible," I'm going to post this on Zelda Dungeon's Facebook.
He totally should have.
Okay. So yeah, it's a little intimidating. Anyways, got through that, and then Wednesday night I started a new game, which I'm gonna switch back and forth. It's just more or less kind of what I'm feeling like playing. I did 2 nights of Zelda. I was like, I want something a little different. Super Mario RPG. I started.
It's a hell of a game, man.
I started doing that. Just beat the first official boss, the Mac, the little bouncy sword dagger thing. He's with all the shy guys. So that's what I've been doing.
Nice.
Been doing retro runs. I'm usually on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. Those will be my 3 days that I'm available. It's usually about midnight when I go on, just because that's when all my stuff for the day is done, and I can sit down and play for about an hour. But it's twitch.tv /FWD compatible. You gotta get the shameless plug in there. And you can find us at this banner.
Shut the fuck up, kill you. I did a lot of old stuff. Spent most of my week chasing that Uncharted 2 Platinum. Got 2 trophies left. Beat it on Crushing and the Platinum, which unlocks once you beat it on Crushing. Everything else is accomplished. And then Uncharted 1 and 2 will be Platinum, and I'll start working on 3. And I actually...
Worse than the franchise.
Worse than the franchise. Then I actually went back to...
You're gonna rebeat Uncharted 3 before I finish it the first time through.
I beat Uncharted 3 a couple times already, just not on the hardest difficulties. Uncharted 3 actually a lot of cleanup to do because it's different. The first 2 are more like get kills with this gun, get X amount of kills with this, get X amount of kills with this, X amount of kill with this, find all the treasures, and then there's like 5 difficult trophies and beating the game on all levels. That's all there is. The third one is more like other games where it's like do this one random thing and this one thing, and if you miss it,
You gotta go back and do it again. Yeah.
So, it's not just like, well, I ran out of ammo on this gun, so I can't get my 30 kills, but don't worry, next level, I'll just pick that gun up again, and it'll keep counting toward you. It's like you miss it, and you're screwed. So my percentage is a lot less on Uncharted 3.
Can you skip back to a chapter after you finish it? Okay, so you don't have to replay the whole damn game.
But you have to replay the whole chapter.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'm trying to get all those knocked out. I'm actually trying to go back and knock out some of the back catalog, because I've beaten everything on my next gen, because I only have the 6 games. The only shit I've left is on my PS4, I'm doing Battlefield multiplayer, and on the Xbox, I want to start Forza 5 finally. And that's all. And I have nothing until like March or late February or March when Thief comes out.
Plants vs. Zombies!
So, yeah, that too.
I've got stuff coming out before then. I got Bravely Default coming.
3DS?
Yeah.
I was
And then,
gonna pick up Tomb Raider. Underline gonna. But now I've got a library of 3,000 games at my disposal.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to invest
Tomb Raider is really good.
$60.
I don't think it should have been $60, all things considered.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I may wait now on it.
Well, there's going to be a Mac port. I don't know how much the Mac version is going to cost. It's on the Mac App Store for $50 right now, which is way too much. because it's basically a port of the PC version. But if it's on Steam and you can get it on Steam sale cheap, I will jump on it. I want to replay it, but I don't want to spend another $60 on it.
I'm not going to play new games on my computer. That has no appeal to me. But consoles that I don't have, I'm more than willing to sit
Actually, your computer may not be able to handle Tomb Raider.
I'm going to buy it just to prove it wrong.
Well, no, because I think it requires a gig of video memory. And I don't think that has a gig. I think it has 512.
You don't know me, son.
See, and this is why I don't game on PC that much. Because it says PlayStation on it, and you put it in and it works.
Yeah.
I know. It's glorious.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off that, but
right.
I think I'm going to wait on Tomb Raider.
I think Tomb Raider is one to definitely give a try, though.
Tomb Raider's an awesome
I never liked Tomb Raider before. I also thought it was stupid. I thought the controls were crap. And I gave this one a try, and I was blown away by how awesome it is.
I figure in the summer, it'll be like $40, $30.
Yeah, it is still too expensive. It needs to have dropped the price. It's been up for a year.
I mean, yes, I understand. I can go back and I can play it on the 360. It's like $20 there.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's like 15.
But if I'm gonna play
it's still $50 on Steam.
If I'm gonna play it, I want to play it on
the new shit. I get
it. You know. But right now, I'm not in any rush.
Well, for me,
I think I'm getting a new Pokemon.
I'm trying to go back and knock out a lot of stuff. Like, I've been meaning to redo the Resistance trilogy. I'm going to go back and do that after I'm done with the Uncharted's. And I enjoyed Killzone, Shadowfall a lot. I want to go back and play 2 and 3 again. And there's just, like, a bunch of shit I want to go back and do again before I really put these consoles away. Because right now is, like, the last chance I have. In another 6 months when the floods of games come, like, those things just aren't going to get turned on anymore. So, like, I don't know. I'm actually playing a lot more last gen than current gen.
You're telling me I'm the one who's playing.
Yeah, you're playing like 6 gens. You know? So
I'm living back in the '90s. Woohoo! Look at that little mustachioed man. That's what they call
him. Yeah, wow. Fat plumber
with a cloud.
Doing stuff
that thinks it's a frog. True story.
Rock on.
Oh, is it that time?
No.
Not that time.
We can't do that.
It's not that time. It's that time.
That's my thing.
It's that time.
Oh, it's this time.
Now.
I had an itch.
Dirty, sexy, news.
Time for some competent news or dirty, unsexy news.
Let's stick with confident. Bryan likes the rapid fire.
Big story of the week. Candy Crush Saga developer King Incorporated trademarks the words candy and saga.
You listened to this, Kim?
So, this is wrong on a lot of levels. Okay, saga. Let's push that one
slide
aside.
that one over.
Slide that one over for a second. Let's just talk about candy. If this goes through, it's not just in the gaming realm, because that's not how trademarks work.
Yeah.
So, like, Nestle chocolate can no longer ever invent something unless they're grandfathered in. They cannot put any new product out with the word candy in it without paying Candy Crush. Who the fuck makes that?
King Incorporated.
Yeah, King.com.
Without paying King.com royalties for putting candy
and even then,
on their candy.
They need to get the permission to do it first. They could just say, nope, can't call it candy. We own candy.
So, like, I don't think this has a shot in hell because I think they were trying to sneak this in. And now that everybody heard about it, it's causing quite the uproar. Like, I don't know. Like, I know why they're doing it. I see it from their perspective that you just go on the iOS store or fucking the Play Store and you see that everyone just incorporates the word candy in their free download games to try to trick people into thinking it's theirs, and then they get the downloads. So I get it. They're losing money because other people are utilizing the word candy and hoping that people are stupid enough to not see that it's the right game.
But here's the irony of that. King.com has done that exact thing with other people's work.
Oh, I know. Yeah. King.com and Zynga are the two biggest offenders of this anyway.
Zynga is literally non-existent at this point.
Well, more or less, yeah.
They had their 15 minutes of fame. They had their flash in the pan. You would think that companies that are in a similar platform as them would kind of look at that example and learn from other people's mistakes in that regard. I mean, I understand it's a business and you have to be aggressive in business. I get that. But like when you see this giant multi-million-dollar company fall like that, you'd think you'd be a little bit more weary about copying almost step by step what they're doing. Yeah. What Zynga did.
Zynga actually did this too. They were trying to trademark Vil. As a suffix, which I can almost get more on board with that than Candy, because like, okay, they wanted it as a suffix and they did have like Farmville, like
they were using it,
Farmville.
And you get that when you throw that at the end of a word, it's a Zynga game. Like you could almost see that. Candy, like, are you kidding? Like, how can you trademark such a broad word? Even Saga, like, there's already a lot of video games that utilize Saga in the title.
From back to the 16-bit days, at least, if not even further.
And Saga's like, it's such like an encompassing word. Like, it takes like anything. It can be like the Fable Saga. Like, as soon as there's a couple more games, anything more than 3, which is characterized as a trilogy, is kind of turning into a saga. Like, you have the Halo Saga. You have like
the
any
Star
of this shit,
Wars Saga,
which is the original fucking saga.
By King.com.
Yeah, exactly.
And Star Wars would have to start paying fucking King.com.
Disney will just buy them to close them.
Yeah.
And you're gone.
And the funny thing is, the Banner Saga has gotten a lot of the brunt of that because they've already been taken to court from King.com for the word saga in their title. But the Banner Saga filed for a trademark before King.com filed for a trademark on the word saga.
It's almost eerily reminiscent to what Bethesda was trying to do to
Notch with scrolls.
Notch with scrolls. Yeah, I forgot all about that one.
Yeah, it's
like you're going to
trademark
the word scrolls.
I don't know, dude. Like this is like.
Just like
this is getting out of hand.
It'd be like if tomorrow somebody starts forward compatible as a automotive website, four wheel whatever, and then try to lay claim to it. The easy way around that is go, well, we've existed prior to that. You can't do that.
Actually, they can.
They can. There's
if they take out the like that's the thing with like
we can. It's disputable though. It's not. If they sneak it in and we never hear about it, then But if we catch wind, we go no. Hold on. Here's our we have
to copyright.
Yeah, but I'm just saying not necessarily. Just by us calling ourselves that and using that title for substantial amount of time. Somebody else can't come in and
about 2 years.
You don't have to file a copyright to have a copyright.
Yeah.
You file a copyright to have a legal proof of your copyright.
Yeah.
But as soon as you create something, like you write a book or whatever, you technically have the copyright to it. The reason you file with the Copyright Office is to have proof and say, hey,
a legal binding document.
Yeah, a legal binding document. That's why there's the poor man's copyright is to take out your manuscript and mail it to yourself and leave it sealed.
Yeah.
Because the post office stamps the date on there.
As to where for us, like uploading on YouTube, it has a stamp.
It has a timestamp.
We don't put that. YouTube does.
Yeah.
We have a stamp on our product. So we have legal documentation showing that theoretically, that we exist.
The only reason I was bringing it up is because there's a lot of weird patent things out there. Hundreds of patents are taken out just in the North America a day, and some never come to light. So say I have this amazing invention that I come up with tomorrow, and I start making it, and then some dude took out a patent for it 5 years ago, but never did anything beyond the patent, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And I put all the research in and the development dollars and produce the actual physical thing.
Unless you're Shia LaBeouf.
He would get all he would get all the money for it because he took out a patent, even though he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And that needs to change. So there's talk of that changing because it's a huge problem in the tech industry in general. Apple has played that game. Google has played that game. There are companies. They're called patent trolls. It's a whole thing. And what's really funny is the guy who started the term patent troll is now a patent troll. It's a mess.
You just take out patents on anything in the hopes that somebody makes it one day, and then you have to get royalties.
It's the same way with domain squatters.
Yes.
Oh yeah. The guys who just bought Call of Duty 6, Call of Duty 7, Call of Duty 8, just waiting.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know.
So fuck that nonsense, guys. Make a real living. Be men. Don't be little wusses about, ooh, look, I thought of the word saga. Do real work. Or we'll make fun of you on our podcast.
Yeah. I hope to God they don't get this.
So
I don't think they're going to.
It's going to get disputed. I mean, the problem is, like, King.com has so much more money than Stoic, who makes the Banner Saga. They've said, like, we can't take them to court.
Yeah, but they're not going to
can't
fight.
afford it.
They can't fight like Nestle or like Hershey's or like...
Yeah, but it shouldn't have to go that far to begin with.
Those candy companies are not going to let that
Oh, the
happen.
guy who runs Nestle... Don't fuck with the guy who runs Nestle, man. That guy's a madman. The guy who runs Nestle wants to buy the world's water supply and own so that nobody can get water. It's a true story.
Yeah.
That's actually true. He has said no one in the world should have access to water without going through.
Right?
No, he's like Swiss or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, dude. Like,
We got one of them here.
He may have bought out one of the companies that's out here. Yeah. But like, yeah, the guy who runs Nestle, he's like more of a Bond villain than Bill Gates ever could have been. Like, you know, Bill Gates back in the day was like super powerful. Don't fuck with Bill Gates. The Nestle guy, way scarier.
Okay, here let's bring it domestic.
Yeah.
PepsiCo.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest company food wise.
It's up there, definitely.
In North America. Like Coke is bigger than Pepsi, but PepsiCo is twice as big as Coca-Cola because they have chips and fucking snacks and candy and all that shit.
Oh, don't say that word. We're going to get sued.
Sugared snacks.
The second PepsiCo finds out they can't put candy on any of their products, they'll destroy these guys in court. There's no fucking way.
The
only reason this isn't blown up is I don't think everybody's heard about it yet.
That could be. I mean, the thing is, King.com apparently makes like $3 million a day right now. $3 million a day on Candy Crush.
I'm sure Diet Pepsi does that.
And
maybe.
I mean,
maybe.
You know what I mean? Like,
but I have to bring it back to Zynga again. Look at the
Zynga,
profits,
not Zynga.
Whatever. Look at
Because Zynga's a different company.
look at what they were generating.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they were trying to buy out real developers.
Yeah.
And overnight, poof.
because people got tired.
Well, because they bought everybody out and didn't put out enough product. Yeah. I mean, that's...
And the other part with this King.com thing is they're ripping off other people's games, which they've not pulled.
Yes.
Because it was brought to light that their game is a... So their big thing is, well, we want to own the copyright so people don't copy us.
But we can copy whatever we want.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's a huge mess. Okay.
Silly bastards.
Some rapid fire stuff. Probably won't have much to say about any of these. Fable Trilogy. Well, actually, there will be something else we'll have to talk about. But the Fable Trilogy bundle available February 7th.
I may pick it up.
It's 2 good games and one good game and 2
I have
mediocre
Fable
games,
2
right?
and Fable 3, though. Like, I was thinking of picking up the Fable Anniversary. I cannot believe it is not coming out on the Xbox One. Like, I'm trying to move away from the old shit. Like, how is this... I get it. You don't want to abandon 70 million Xbox 360
but
users.
From a technical standpoint, they'd have to reprogram the whole thing again, which they probably started programming this 6 months to a year ago.
This is...
So,
it's actually...
You're telling me
actually-
Lionhead
it's
didn't
actually-
have access to the Xbox
It's
1 year
actually
ago?
2 years.
Is it 2 years?
Because
Okay.
it was before Molyneux left.
Yeah, but Lionhead's an internal studio.
I
They
understand.
were
they-
one of the first companies to have access to the
I agree that
Xbox
they
One.
should have thrown more money at it, but I get why it's not on Xbox One. I don't agree that it's not, but I see why it's not from a cost perspective.
I get that. But I played part of 1. I never played through it because I was not an original Xbox owner. I kind of want to... And I have it.
It's like Fable 2. It's good.
I know. I have it. And it plays on my 360. But
It looks like shit.
it looks like shit. The load times are horrible. I kind of want this. I kind of do.
It's just like, to me, like, this is like the second game that's coming out in the next 6 months that they're not getting my money because it's not available next gen. South Park, which I'm...
You're officially off the South Park.
Unless it comes to next gen, now I'm making a stand. And
Yeah, right. You want to take 10 more years to develop?
or unless I just borrow it.
Yeah.
Then I'll play them. And Fable's another one. It's just like... I get, like, Gran Turismo was the last gen, the final last gen game I was going to purchase. Gran Turismo 6. I'm done. Like, if something's only coming out on the PS3 or the Xbox 360, I'm just not getting it anymore.
And I mean,
I'm moving on.
even if they didn't do anything visually with Fable Anniversary, I can't imagine it would be that hard
Yeah, those are more similar in architecture.
Fable Anniversary would be easier to port to Xbox One than Fable 2 or 3.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
And Anniversary specifically, because the Xbox One infrastructure and architecture is more akin to what the original Xbox was over the 360. That's what they said.
To some degree, yeah, absolutely. Definitely processor-wise, the graphics not so much, but processor-wise, yeah.
I don't even think you had to redo the whole game. Why can't it look the same on both consoles and just make it?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would buy Fable Anniversary if it looked exactly how it looked.
I want to move on.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
If they release it on both systems and they look identical, they play identical. I'm going to buy it on my Xbox.
I personally am surprised that Microsoft didn't do it. I can see why Sony would fail at it, because Sony is not Microsoft. Microsoft is a company that's all about developers. I don't know why. Like, I can kind of understand why you can't just straight up compile. You can't just click a button and say compile for Xbox One instead of Xbox 360, because their architecture is so different. But I'm really surprised that they didn't make it easier, because they did that with Xbox 360 and XBLA, where you could do simpler stuff and lower quote unquote quality stuff would work on either platform.
You know what the
fairly
problem is?
simply.
They're not forward compatible.
Boom!
Yeah. Next story. This one's a little complicated. This one will probably be another discussion. It goes in 3 tiers. 1, Microsoft is paying YouTubers to promote the Xbox One, but not disclosing that they're doing it, and EA is doing this as well.
Okay. So after this came out, this was an early in the week, like right after we recorded last week's show. This popped up. I think it was Monday.
It might have even been Sunday night.
Yeah. Okay. So, for the first time in a long time, I saw the industry band together in defense of Microsoft. Because you guys have been paying attention. The last year and a half, it's been a
little rough.
It's been a big, like, Xbox bashing train. And everybody actually came in defense of Microsoft. And Machinima, because that was the original partner that this was for. Yeah. They actually took full blame because they were the ones in the contract that didn't specify. And they actually came out, along with everybody else, and said that this happens all the time with everyone. A lot of, even like across all of YouTube, a lot of people, we don't do this.
Not yet.
We're not sellouts yet.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
When we tell you a game's good, it's because a game's good. We don't make a penny. But a lot of
the views and opinions expressed on Forward Compatible Podcast are not of Bryan Burks.
But in truth, a lot of the YouTubers out there do get paid off to tell you a game is good. Like they'll be given an option. Like say they were given a free game and they're like, review it and it's got to be good. You got to talk highly about the game and the system and all this stuff. And if they don't like it, they just shelf that project. They just won't come out with it. So they'll get 10 games. You might only hear about 3 of them because those are the 3 they liked and they felt comfortable talking highly about. Or if you have a real piece of garbage, they'll talk really well about it.
I can definitely see some integrity issues with something like this, but the overall perspective that I have is this is nothing new. It's new because it's just being heard about.
They got caught.
In the social media and digital age, it's just being heard about. But this is nothing new. You think, and I'm not bashing anybody, but do you think that IGN, or not IGN, let's go with Game Informer, would get the new EA game on the cover of their magazine if all they did was bash EA's games for the past year?
EA would shun them for the next 2 years.
This, I mean, it's been like this.
This isn't even
print.
I was gonna say this isn't even a video game thing. This happens with books and movies and TV shows
There's a reason that they used to keep the editorial and the marketing groups separate in a lot of media. There's a reason that the news used to be considered not a source of income, but just a public service. And sometime in the 80s, around the time of CNN, that switched. Because it used to be that no one expected to make money on the news. The news was provided
as a public service.
And magazines...
No, it's even older than that because there was that old deal with the U.S. government that fucked everything up. Like TV's bandwidth, like Channel 5, Channel 2, Channel 7.
Right.
Those are owned by the airwaves are owned by the
Right,
government.
they license the airwaves.
And what the
Correct.
government should have did was say that for 23 hours a day, do whatever you want, make profit. And the deal was that you have to provide 1 hour of news.
Right. Well, and
But
there used to be another deal too.
the government missed the stipulation that said you weren't allowed to advertise on it. It should have been one full block, commercial free, of no advertisements, and news would have stayed the way it should
Unbiased.
be,
Right, unbiased, yeah.
But since they have they left out that stipulation because the U.S. government fucked up. Now you have advertisers, you have
Well, and you
people
have-
pushing for time, and that's why
Yeah.
news anchors make so much money.
Yeah, for a while there was a thing where they had to have a certain amount of educational programming every day, stuff like that. And there are sources that will do their best to remain, if not completely free of advertising. They try to only advertise
A little.
or only products that they actually use or like. But you don't always know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, advertising is okay when it's disclosed. If you're getting a free something's getting, the money's coming from somewhere. Nothing is actually free.
Yeah.
But usually advertising is disclosed in some way. If you read a magazine and they print up an advertisement that looks like an article, it says advertisement at the top or supplemental. It doesn't say, it doesn't show the branding of the magazine in there. It says, it gives some kind of indicator.
I get
You know what I'm talking about?
Well, see, this is what people were coming out in Xbox's defense about.
Yeah.
Xbox had this. It was Machinima's thing, and they
Right. Didn't do it.
Machinima took the blame. They said it
Okay.
was our fault. We didn't include that, and it's standard practice to include that.
Okay.
That, hey, there's supposed to be a thing, advertisable, like, promotional purposes.
Consideration paid for
Yeah,
by
all
and,
that shit.
and I'm not saying Microsoft stipulated that. I'm just saying, you're not supposed to do that. And if you are, especially, Machinima should have known better. They're big enough that they should know better. They check their shit before it goes out. Someone's looking at that. No one at a place like Machinima is like, just get it out, don't worry about it. Machinima checks their shit. Like, if we were to do it,
here's a little bit more. I don't know if you looked into it, but how Machinima works, because I did, because we do provide a service on YouTube. So I was interested. I was like, how do these people get on these bigger companies? And basically, you have the main Machinima channel. Those are the people that Machinima paid.
Right.
Okay, that is their staff. Then you have Machinima partners.
Right.
Okay, and the partners would be like, if we came in, we wouldn't be Machinima staff. We would be partnered with Machinima.
Right.
We would have access to certain resources. You do have to have stipulations like not a set, but a guideline of how many views per episode or by month and things like that. Oh, you have to generate 10,000 views a month and everything. But they don't regulate that content. They go, okay, you're big enough that we can promote you. You generate the ad revenue. You use our logo. You go. That's how that works. So,
But was it Machinima or Machinima partners that were doing this? Do you know?
partners.
Okay.
Machinima partners,
to
because
my understanding.
I watch a few of the regulars from Machinima.
Machinima.com, essentially.
Their official things, and those guys are not. They don't give a fuck. They're like the closest thing to us in the big leagues. The real Machinima, like those guys do not.
Yeah, I
care.
mean,
they say whatever they want. They
It's
swear.
like Rooster
they-
Teeth.
Yeah,
Same thing,
they're
yeah.
nuts, dude. I love the Machinima guys.
So, but yeah, I mean
they're not as
generally-
professional as everybody else,
Yeah.
and they're really popular because of it.
And I mean that's kind of how my perspective on it. And it's like, okay, let's say we're just gonna play devil's advocate here. Microsoft wants us to promote something for them. I'm not gonna do it unless I stand by the product. But if I do stand by the product, then I'm gonna cram it down your throat. Like, I'm gonna talk about it till I'm blue in the face.
But you should in some way stipulate that they're.
Oh yeah.
See, I was actually looking into this right after we started the podcast. I found a smaller, unofficial Xbox team that would have done a lot of shit for us. The problem is we would have had to convert the podcast into an Xbox podcast.
Yeah.
And I was already done with it because as much as I love Xbox, I want to talk about PlayStation, Nintendo, and PC as well. I don't want to be stuck in a small little box. And that's what they wanted. We would have been we would have had app advertisements,
All the stuff that we're getting now.
yeah.
Back then, but honestly,
We would have had a bigger audience. We would have had, all the shit, but we would have had to just be Xbox, and I said, forget it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong. You need advertisers to provide free content. You just have to be able to separate yourself from that. And when you don't do that, it causes this sort of a problem. Like there's a podcast network that I listen to that's very big, This Week in Tech.
Okay.
And when they do a promotion, he says, "This is our sponsor." Blah 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 blah. So talks them up. We'll mention them during the show, but he will always say, "These are our sponsor. These are our sponsor." So you at least know, okay, he's getting paid by these guys.
Yeah.
They can still have it. Just because someone advertises doesn't mean they have a bad product.
Yeah.
An advertiser can have a great product. So it's not, so I don't think it's wrong to talk about a sponsor. Just make sure that people know.
Yeah.
If you read a lot of legit, and when I say legit, I mean like proper traditional journalism sources, if there's some kind of possible integrity problem, they usually mention it. Like if you read like, I think it's Recode is one of the new tech sites. They're part owned by NBC. If they do an article about NBC, they disclose, disclosure. NBC is a part owner, or former employer of so and so, stuff like that.
From our standpoint, we did a review of a game that's never coming out, Painkiller.
It's out.
Is it finally? Okay. And I put right on there, the copy was provided by Gen Game and so on and so forth, and we made sure to say how we got this, why we got to cover our asses so people weren't like, well, how did you get the game early?
Yeah.
Be like, well, wait a minute, they gave it to us.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. But I get, as long as you make mention of it, it's okay, But I think on a bigger scale, at least from my moral perspective, Microsoft comes up to us and goes, we want to pay you to promote Zoo Tycoon. I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to stand by Zoo Tycoon. You want me to talk about Gears or Halo? We're all over that. You want to give us something that I don't stand behind or I don't agree with, then I'm not going to do it. That's my perspective. Money talks, but I still have my moral standards. I'm not going to go out there and tell you guys to buy a Wii U when I don't stand behind the product. That's just not what I'm going to do.
I will, Reggie, mail the check to Impoverished Geek.
I'd rather be this big and honest than this big and full of shit.
No, I agree. I think we're all on the same page on this one.
Until somebody,
I think our viewers know that. They know we speak from the heart. We go we go out, all the games we talk about every week. We go out, we buy with our own money that we make at jobs that aren't video game related at all, and we go spend the money. We play in our free time. Nobody's paying us to do this. We lose money doing the podcast every week. Not a lot. It doesn't cost us a ton, but it costs money to do this.
It costs me fucking money. I gotta pay for this electricity and this internet shit.
All the fucking software, the cameras, the mics, the gas to come over here. We steal it all.
Actually,
siphon the gas. But no, like this, this costs money to do every week.
Yeah.
Time, effort, all that shit.
Yeah. I mean,
and we're gonna come out here and lie to you guys, like, no, dude.
And I mean, I obviously, I'm joking around. Some of our diehards know that we're working on something. Obviously, we don't want to speak on it because we don't know anything. Nothing's set in stone. We're working on something though.
Very, very sneaky.
I was talking with Andrew Dillon. I was watching him stream a game the other day, and I was like, "Hey, you know what? I can't really tell you too much, but go to here and do this, and you'll be forward compatible. You'll be ready to go." So.
All right. In that same vein, the FTC weighed in and said there's no real law regarding the disclosure.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about again?
Disclosing advertising.
Oh yeah.
There's no real law with regard to social media disclosure because it's so new. But there are laws in place regarding disclosure in other areas, and they should be trying to follow.
Obviously, like when you see an infomercial, and it's a doctor, and this is a paid actor. They have to
do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The internet's still the wild, wild west.
Oh yeah,
it is.
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
But
that's
stuff like
why
this,
we exist.
Stuff like this could create laws.
Yeah.
That could lead to laws. And Conan O'Brien also is getting paid for his Clueless Gamer segments when the reviews are positive.
Yeah.
Minecraft did not pay him. They played Minecraft and he shat on it. But Tomb Raider gave him the bucks.
Well, that's.
But they don't disclose it.
Yeah, but I mean that. Hey, if you can make some scratch on the side by playing something, liking it, giving it a positive review.
He doesn't like video games at all. That's why I think it's so funny. I mean, the segment is funny because he doesn't really play games. I don't know if you've ever seen the Clueless Gamer stuff before. It is funny. I mean, he basically, the Tomb Raider one was hilarious. That's part of why I bought Tomb Raider was because of the Tomb Raider Clueless Gamer segment. It actually made me more into the game. So like, it worked.
But yeah, I mean, you know, it's in my opinion, you know, it's kind of it's understandable that a big company like Microsoft would do something.
Well, it's understandable that they want to advertise. Absolutely, just a matter of disclosing when something isn't a paid endorsement. That's...
Yeah, no, and I'm not disagreeing, but I also look at it from the perspective of things are changing. The way that we consume content is changing. So even in that regard, like, okay, if somebody comes out and says, this is a commercial for this, if it's something you're not interested in, right past it, right? You know, or skip, whatever. But if they integrate the commercial in with giving you information and providing you, then, I mean, again, there is a integrity there. Don't tell me something's good if it's not. But if, like, again...
Well, but like, look at the Minecraft thing. Like, if they had paid him, they would have gotten a good review.
Yeah.
That's
Conan O'Brien.
Well, I know. I mean, it's a comedy show to begin with.
I'm talking about homegrown people at home.
Right.
You know, sitting at their computers playing games. You want to give them a kickback? Awesome. You know, and I mean, it's not like they're making thousands of dollars.
You're not.
No. It's actually they can't disclose the exact amount because it varies depending on
Microsoft was $3
Well, I'm saying through machine. It depends, varying on per view and your subscription base and everything. There's a lot of metrics involved in it.
No, it was $3 with a 10,000 cap.
Yeah. So, but again, and nobody's, you know, they're not paying out $10,000 per ad.
10,000 views, so it'd be 30,000 max. So I don't know. I don't even really care about any of this because this is just the way the advertising world works. To me, the most powerful advertising tool is word of mouth. When you hear somebody you know and trust and are friends with say something's better, that's better than any commercial is going to do to anything.
Well, but social media, sorry, I'm like leaning too far into the mic. Social media kind of blurs that line because a lot of social media is about interacting with the fans and making it seem like you might be closer than you actually are. Not necessarily like in our case.
We hate all of you. No.
But like in general, like, you know, when you see like a celebrity on Twitter or some hockey.
Yeah, the celebrity endorsements I don't get behind at all. Yeah. Obviously, you know they're being paid to go out there.
Well, but that's not what I meant by
yeah.
Just like and I'm not getting into all that, but Justin Bieber got arrested last past week, but Adidas is standing behind him because he's wearing their shoes. Kind of bullshit. But what I think the point that Tony's trying, and I'll let you get back to it in a second. But again, it's the homegrown people that you kind of build the same way our audience kind of builds a establishment and a repertoire with us. They know when we're bullshitting. They know when we're being honest. So they're gonna stand by our opinion a little bit better than they would by reading it out of a magazine. They don't have that personal interaction with somebody. And yeah, if you're a celebrity, you're fake. Okay, but if you're some dude sitting at a computer, if you're Francis, even though that's a made up personality, that's not who he really is. But if you're him, your lifeblood is your audience. That's where you generate your money. So you have a balance of, okay, Microsoft's going to pay me some extra money to talk good about their stuff, but I don't want to burn my audience either. Is the bonus worth, possibly? So I think that's the social. That's why I keep going back to it's a moral thing. If you're true and you're really in this because you love it, you're going to generate a fan base, regardless of how big or small it is, and you're going to stand by your opinion, and your people will know that.
Yes.
And it's not like, Microsoft's not reaching out to, like, Zelda Dungeon. They might, sorry, Moss, but I'm going to use your example, who is very Nintendo heavy and going, hey, you review our stuff pretty good, we're going to give you some extra. No, they're going for people that they know
are going to give them a good review
exactly,
anyway.
that are going to kind of, kind of stand behind them as it is. That's, I mean...
Fair enough.
I'm sorry, I hijacked your comment.
No, I was just saying word of mouth is more powerful than any advertiser could possibly be. I mean, you just look in recent memory, some of the games that catch fire, like they sold like shit the first 6 months or whatever because they didn't have advertising money, and then they just even Minecraft didn't start off crazy.
It's been out for what, 3 years now?
It was word of mouth, and then it exploded. Or you look at something like Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain sold like 100,000 units the first couple months.
Yeah,
then everybody kept telling. Yeah, they kept telling their friends like, "Dude, this is awesome. Dude, this is awesome." Then it got those trademarked legacy sales that built it up, and then it sold 2 million units after people have been talking about it. Or Mirror's Edge, Mirror's, is that what it's called? That fucking
the running
Arco game.
And unless you're a AAA studio, that's how you work. I mean, Legend of Zelda came out back in
86 or 87.
Okay. And it was word of mouth at that. Yeah, they may have had a little write up in some gaming magazine, but back in that
Nintendo Power.
But back in that
was the only thing that got the name out.
Exactly. You know, it was word of mouth. Hey guys, I got this new game. Come over to my house, watch it, play it, check it out. That's how that works.
And a rapping dude on TV. The Legend of Zelda. It's really rad. I don't know the rest of the
I
words.
thought you meant the Japanese one for Link to the Past.
No.
That's awesome.
Okay.
More news.
More news. Dead Rising 3 has a 13 gig patch. Wow, that's big.
That's what she said. The main problem with this is, and this goes back to net neutrality. Some people do have data caps.
Yeah.
You know, and if this is the way of the future,
this definitely is.
and if that doesn't, if the net doesn't grow with that, there might be a problem.
And that's a big deal right now. Not to bring on another huge discussion, but
The net is plenty big. It's all fucking smoke and mirrors to make you pay more for different
Yes.
tiers.
but
That's the
regardless,
truth.
they're
Yeah.
still making
Everybody
you pay.
can have a ridiculous internet
Yeah.
speed constantly,
Yeah,
and
and
it
I-
wouldn't put any strain on
I don't
the
disagree with you
infrastructure.
at all, but what
It's
I'm saying
all bullshit.
is from the stance that it is now, regardless of whether, it's 100 acres of internet, you're only allotted 10 acres.
well, you're talking about the data caps that some
That's
companies
specifically
enforce. Yes.
that the companies enforce.
Data caps are to create facade tiers, though.
Yeah, and-
there's this big thing there's only a limited amount. It's like fossil fuels. There's only so much internet, and you're only allowed this much because else you're gonna fuck everybody else. It's not true.
Oh, I know.
It's
I've
not true.
gotten that text message from AT&T before. You're in the top 5%. I was like, is that a good thing?
Yeah. No, I mean,
Do
here,
I
it's not.
get a sticker?
Yeah, right?
As-
Is that a Chivo?
as someone who manages small networks, there are limitations to how much your network can handle. But if you're advertising these high speeds, you should be able to provide those high speeds. If Comcast has a bunch of 100 megabit switches in their head end, then they've got a fucking problem. They shouldn't be offering everybody these high speeds, but they don't. They have gigabit and faster shit in there. No, the caps are just a way to keep you from using too much. All these companies in the background, because there's a discussion, but it was mostly about Netflix. I don't want to bring.
But if you do go over that cap, they throttle you.
Well, it depends on who you're talking about. Comcast will cut you off.
Oh yeah.
Comcast will cut you off, and if you do it 2 months in a row, they will cut off your service for good.
AT&T scales you
AT&T
back.
will
I
scale
don't
you
think
back.
that's true anymore because I go over pretty much every month.
It's
and
not
nothing,
true right now.
Nothing ever happens.
Right now, they have suspended the cap, but it has happened to people in the past.
No, it used to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But they still say there's a cap. They're just not enforcing it.
It's a soft cap.
So they could. Well, there's no cap technically, but they say. But they show you a little meter, and they say if you go over this, we could suspend you if we want. So they reserve the right if you're going really crazy to knock you off.
Yeah.
But
Netflix alone eats up my cap every month.
Yeah,
without doing a damn thing, just Netflix.
and that's and then there's a whole. I mean, this could go on a whole episode about this.
This is a
It's a TTOW is what it is.
We should get that in one of these days. Because
really should.
We've been doing these little 5-minute thingies about the internet and Netflix and all these problems. We should just make it a Tony Stop and do
should.
it one of these weeks.
Okay.
Andrew Dillon. Right there.
Yeah, remind me in a week or two.
Another
We'll
rapid fire
knock this
one.
out.
Sony's looking into a PS4 bug that corrupts save files. I haven't experienced it. You haven't experienced it.
I'm good.
You're good. Your PS4 is okay.
It's great.
But apparently that's
Hey,
going
I got
on.
the app. Kind of works on my PS4.
A lot of these things are fucking really small, but then they make it sound like a big deal. Like I remember, 3 people's Xbox Ones poofed a little bit of white powder when they first were launching. Does anybody remember this?
Yeah, vaguely.
It was 3 Xbox Ones out of the million they sold in the first 24 hours. 3 out of a million, and they didn't even break. It just shot this weird white powder out. Xbox Ones are faulty. They're breaking left and right. Everything's
Oh, see,
wrong.
now I thought
the
they had Ebola
sky
powder
is
in them.
falling.
Now,
It's like a 0.00001% of
since we
hardware
were-
failure,
since
which
we
is
were speaking about Dead Rising actually broke for a week. They came out with a patch, and you couldn't boot the game.
Huh.
And everybody's up. It's just like, just wait, they'll fix it. You know?
Well, but it sucks when that breaks and you.
It does.
Yeah.
It totally does. I thought, because I wasn't home. Angry Andy was here playing my Xbox, and he's like, Dead Rising won't load. I'm like, oh my god, did it make a grinding? Everything that you hear, did it make a grinding noise? Throw in a different game, make sure it's working. Blah. He's like, Forza works. I'm like, no, Forza's digital. Throw in another disc. And it turned out, okay, the game was dead for a couple days. Yeah, it was inconvenient, and my equipment should work better than that, and they should watch their patches, but it's all still very new. Things happen, people, get used to it. Things break. As long as they can fix them,
It'll be okay.
I mean, a week, not 6 months. And what about 15 years ago? If there was a bad code and it killed your entire save,
that was it.
That was it. You were done. You couldn't fix
patchy.
it. No, exactly. It's a patch.
Well, you
had
could
to
fix
work-
it,
you had
but
to
it would be very
work-
expensive. You have to recall the cartridges and send them back out.
And it's like,
You have to work around glitches.
yeah, as shitty as having these huge patches are, I think it's a great thing. With a big patch like this, where they can address and they can actually change the game. People go, I like the game, but here are a lot of the problems that I see. Okay, give us a few months. Let us work on it. Boom, you got a fresh game.
So I keep trying to I keep beating that drum. Gaming is getting better every year. People keep thinking that it's like...
This is why you have to pay for Xbox
People
Live.
got this crazy nostalgia of...
That's not why.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Jason!
What do we got next?
Yeah. More
Next
news!
up, gamers are more likely to experience lucid dreams. For those who don't know, lucid dreams are dreams where you actually realize you're in a dream and can in some way control the dream or yourself.
I have these on a fairly regular basis. I have this weird issue, though, that in said dreams, I can manifest an object, say a hammer, but then I can't grab it. It's like it's there. I was able to manipulate.
You should use your brain power
tools that I
to
need.
throw the hammer with your brain.
No, but it's just it's there, but it's not. It's incorporeal. It's an image, but it's not a solid object. So I mean, I've experienced stuff like that on a decent basis. I actually, and people can make fun of me if they want. I don't care.
Nerd!
No, I used to have really bad nightmares. That's why I can't watch zombie stuff before bed.
I get that, dude.
Okay.
I've had that.
Like, I mean, physically, like, I'd wake up in pain from, like, a zombie attack, okay? My one friend who was a psychologist actually gave me the zombie survival guide. And he goes, you know what? Read a couple pages before bed. And that actually helped. It helped me kind of control the situation a little bit better.
Yeah, my little brother used to get night terrors. Those are fucking scary.
Ah! Cobras! Yes! Look at that! 10-year-old Simpson reference. Maybe 15.
For me, I have no idea. I haven't remembered a dream since I was like 5 years old. I know I dream because it's human nature. It probably has a lot to do with it, actually. But I really haven't remembered a dream in an insanely long time. I do know that some of the pluses is like I have ridiculous dexterity, because of playing video games. Like there's little shit I could do even with these bear claws that most people can't do. They're just not I don't know.
And
my hand-eye coordination is awesome because of video games.
And
I
I
know
think
that helps a lot.
Part of the reason when playing Zelda that I was so frustrated because
Muscle memory tells you to do something.
Exactly. I was like pre-programmed to that 20-year-old controller that I haven't held in 15 years.
That's the problem I have with Castlevania right now. I'm playing on the Vita. And the Vita buttons are not the same as the PlayStation buttons. They're smaller and they have a different feel to them. So like the rhythm that I had during certain moves just can't pull them off anymore.
Yeah, I mean, back to I've had dreams where I've woken up and then I can actually go back to restart the dream.
That happens to me sometimes. I only when I
You
don't
have to,
want it. No, when I want it, it doesn't
really,
come.
I have to really focus on every minute detail.
I have a lot of nightmares. I think it's like it runs in the family because my dad has a lot of nightmares. My sister has a lot of nightmares. I actually keep a dream journal. I don't write it all the time, but if I have something really crazy, I write that shit down. That becomes a short story, motherfucker. That's how you do it.
Oh, I have an extremely overactive imagination. I mean, I'm an overnight security guard on the weekends downtown in a building by myself. You'd believe that I thought I was in Resident Evil. You know, like I can work myself up to freak myself out about anything if I really try. Like I can put myself in a state of panic if I try hard enough. It's messed up.
It's kind of interesting.
It's messed up.
That's you read the short thing that I wrote. I do the same thing all the time.
I mean, I'm the epitome of a man-child who just so happens to live on his own. Look at this is my dining room wall. Okay, I have Batman tattoos. I have an overactive imagination. I can put myself into scenarios and things like that. The difference between you and I when it comes to then projecting those onto a written form or anything like that, I get writer's block. I can't write. Can't do it. I can give a million ideas. I can tell you a million different things. I'm the idea guy, but when it comes to me, like physically implementing it myself, I can't do it.
Anything else, Tony? No.
More beers!
I don't dream.
That's right.
Or I dream. I don't remember. I have no idea what happens.
With his pants wet.
I go to bed. I wake up.
Boner.
It's just 8 hours of missing life. That's all.
Wakes up with a.
I don't wake up like, oh, that was cool. That was fun going to that land with that one chick or what. No idea what happens.
I wish those were my dreams.
No idea what
rock cutter
happens.
hard on.
No idea.
More news. Tim Schafer would love to revisit Brutal Legend, but it's too expensive.
Well, I mean, originally he wanted to do a sequel to Brutal Legend, but EA said no.
Yeah.
You know, and that's sad.
But I think they've rebought all their properties at this point, so now it's just a matter of getting the money for it.
He owns everything. I mean,
Yeah.
He's the master of Kickstarter, and
Yeah.
I have some issues with his Kickstarters as it is, because like he doesn't need it.
Well, he doesn't. The reason he went with Kickstarter is so he could do what he wants rather than going to another publisher.
Yeah.
Now, if they're successful
the reason
enough,
he's using Kickstarter so he can risk all the backers' money instead of
his. But they,
which is the problem with Kickstarter.
so a Double Fine does not have the money of an EA or a Nintendo.
That I understand, but I mean, right now he's focusing on making smaller scale games.
Right.
That the risk reward
Is less
it's-
risk but less reward.
It's like
Yeah.
Kevin Smith.
There's no risk.
Kevin
He's going
Smith,
to risk everybody else's money.
Kevin Smith. summed
No, if
this
he
up-
doesn't do Kickstarter. I'm saying if he doesn't.
Oh, then he risks his own money, which is what's holding him back.
Kevin Smith summed this
Then he's
up
like, oh wait,
really
it's
good.
my money. Hold on.
Last December, not this past, 2012, he was going to launch a Kickstarter for Clerks 3. And he came out, and his expression is actually really good, and this is my opinion on it. This is why certain Kickstarters, I know you don't support certain ones, I'm all in for. Other ones I want nothing to do with. For instance, MC Chris, I didn't contribute to his Kickstarter. You don't need my money, bud. You know, you can do your own thing. Anyways, Kevin Smith said, okay, Kickstarter is for the indie. You know, back in the day, like when he had to hustle and get credit cards to make his stuff and try to see his dream through, he has the money. He has financial backing. He doesn't need to go to the people. It would have, the way he put it was big fish, small pond. He'd be sucking up income that could go to people that actually need it. He doesn't. Tim Schafer, love your games, love his creativity. He doesn't need $47 million to make a little point and click game or whatever it is. I mean,
It wasn't 47 million, but yeah.
Well,
It
he's
was
got,
really
like,
high.
3 Kickstarters.
Yeah, no, and he did re-kickstart one, which I did not read. I had done like the original Broken Age one.
Yeah.
I did not go back to the other ones. Once you got my money once, that's what you get. That's it.
Yeah, and I agree. You know, for we as a group kicked in on a Kickstarter for a bar that's opening here in Chicago.
When is that opening, by the way?
They're shooting for I think spring summer
Oh, so it's still a ways
before
off.
August.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I mean, again, now they only asked for 10. This is the smart way to do it. They said we want the initial investment of 10 grand, so that we can build upon that. We can then go to investors and go, we have this much already. You know, we're ready to move forward. We have our backing, our capital, as opposed to going and dealing with a bank and loans and everything like that. And blah blah blah. But I mean, we get perks out of it. We get our name on the wall and we get to go VIP opening night, which is cool. Anyways, yeah, make another Brutal Legend. Just leave out the RTS stuff.
Or fix it.
No, it's not necessary. I mean, you made a Grand Theft Auto-esque open world game based around heavy metal with one of the best characters I've seen in a video game in years. Okay, voiced by Jack Black, a great supporting cast. You got Tim Curry to do the villain. You don't need that RTS gimmick. It was
Well, I thought the RTS added a nice sense of scale to the battles, but it was just so impossible to control. It was maddening.
If they focused solely on playing as Riggs in that epic battle, awesome.
Yeah.
My whole problem with this, and I never did Brutal Legend, so I don't know one way or the other if it's even a good game. Okay, but my whole thing with this, and it's the same problem I have with virtually everything on Kickstarter. The thing went off.
Yep.
Is okay, the market will dictate what the market wants, and there's plenty of people. Did we completely lose it?
No. It just takes a second.
Oh, okay.
That's all. It was still going into.
Yeah, the market dictates what the market's going to want, and this is my major issue with Kickstarter. Brutal Legend probably didn't sell very well.
Actually, it sold enough.
Okay,
It's like Tomb Raider numbers.
Okay, so that's the problem. Okay, if the market wanted it, everybody would be all over this. Who did he get in the thing with? Was it EA?
EA, and
Okay.
they're the ones that.
EA is a very smart company with a lot of very intelligent people working there. And if there was profit in a Brutal Legends 2, they would fund it. But the thing is too risky, saying that the market probably can't really incorporate it without too much risk.
Well, really.
There's tons of analysts that work for EA. EA is billions and billions a year. Okay? Tim Schafer's a few million in his lifetime. You know what I mean? Different levels. So he has this idea, but EA's got a lot of really smart people saying it's probably not that smart to put our money here. So they let it go. That's like, to me, that should be indicative of why a Brutal Legend 2 probably won't work very well. I know you two really want to see it, and I hope the game comes out so you guys get to play it. I know there's sequels I've been wanting that I would like to play, but you kind of got to get that it's not happening for a reason. It's not because the world's against Tim Schafer and they just won't let him see his vision through. It's like, it's probably not going to make very much money. And that's why he wants to go to Kickstarter and risk other people's money to see his dream come to fruition. And he'll reap the benefits, and no one else will.
Well, usually you get a game out of your backing, so you get the game.
I don't know.
Really quick.
It's messed up to me. Like that's why I have a problem with it. I don't know.
It kind of harkens back to what you were saying a little bit earlier. It didn't initially sell well, but it had those legacy sales. It's got its following. Every single one of his games do, and I understand. From a business.
This isn't. I'm not picking on Brutal Legend. I'm saying. This idea.
No, yeah. I get that.
I never played Brutal. I have no idea. Might be a really cool game. I have no idea.
Regardless, let's take him out of the equation. It was one of those. It's a cult game that built its following and still maintained after the release. That's when it picked up its steam. Was in the post.
Good, like they're doing this with Veronica Mars right now. This is like a big thing that's in the thing because they kickstarted a movie. It's the same thing. If whoever the fuck it was, ABC or NBC, if they saw money in it, they would have kept the show.
See, that's not true. Just because something makes money doesn't mean they'll keep it on the air or they'll make the game. They'll pick whatever is going to make the most money. So it could be
that's probably a poor example.
They could turn a profit, but they can't turn the profit that the company wants.
I was going to say, I mean, they booted both Buffy and Angel off the air. When that was some of the highest rated television.
TV's probably a bad example.
Fox kills good shows all the time.
TV, horrible example.
Yeah, but what one person considers good, like, I think there's a lot of great shows that got canceled before their time, and I don't see how half the stuff...
One of my favorite shows is constantly in fear of getting canceled. Community. Every year it gets renewed.
Isn't it last year now?
No. Well, every year it's just one more year. But there's no, like...
That's the show with Chevy Chase, no?
Not anymore. Chevy Chase is gone.
He's dead.
Yeah, they killed off his character. They gave him the stories about Chevy Chase and they're bad.
Well, they're now writing off all the characters.
No, just one. Donald Glover's leaving, but Donald Glover does that all the time.
I heard.
No. It's Donald Glover. Donald Glover leaves everything. He was a writer for 30 Rock, and he left to do his own thing, and then he went into Community, and now he's leaving Community to do music. He leaves everything. I haven't heard anything about anybody else leaving the show.
I guess bringing it back on point. Another prime example is and I hate to keep beating the dead horse. City of Heroes was profitable. Okay, there's there's hard facts out there that City of Heroes was profitable. But because the company was based out of Korea, they decided they wanted to shift focus away from Eastern games. They closed down the game, closed down the studio, wiped them out. I think if done properly, Kickstarter is a way for people to continue their legacies and build upon what they've built in the past with their games. Now, does that necessarily... I totally 100% get what you mean. That it's risking people's money. 100%. That's why, from my perspective, I'm not one of these crazy people that are, let's put in $10,000 to Kickstarter this. No, I'm going to put in the amount of what I feel the market value of said product is. For instance, I Fight Dragons Kickstarted their new album. $20 got you the album. Done. That's what I would pay for it anyways. City of Heroes, I went for $75, which is a little higher, but I get 2 copies of City of Titans. Okay.
Is that what they're calling now? City of Titans?
City of Titans is the official name. Yeah.
Okay.
Geek Bar, we all kind of kicked in. We got $50 to get our name on the wall at the establishment and VIP access.
So you bought advertising.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, to me, Kickstarter, okay, I get it. It's a very broken system. Like,
I agree.
okay, say Bryan invents something, you know? Fine. You can kickstart something because you don't have anything out there. I still don't agree with the premise fact that, what, are you showing your invention?
This is actually from Kickstarter, from Chicago right here. This is a keychain that someone invented.
Keysmart?
Keysmart, yeah.
But I still don't agree with it because if it's a really good product, you should go and get investors and go to a bank and take out the loan and take out your own personal financial responsibility for your dream, for your vision to get it out there. But it can be seen as a cool tool. I still don't agree with it, but I could see that. The little tiny startup. Nobody that is established or has a name or has past careers in what they're trying to do, any actor, any video game maker, any movie maker, any television maker who has a past of doing TV, movie, video game, comics, whatever, should not kickstart anything. You are taking advantage of the system.
I want to agree with you 50%. And the only reason I say that is because then there is the portion of fan service where, hey, we didn't sell 6 million units of our game. Let's just say, for instance, okay? But we have enough that we can warrant an independent development of a sequel for fan service for the 200,000, 250,000 fans at $50 a piece, which would be the price of the game, to give you what you want. To that, where I don't agree. I agree with you 100% that, like, Dane Cook, people like that, they should not be on Kickstarter. You know, I don't.
Did Dane Cook do a Kickstarter?
I'm just
okay.
Throwing names out there. Yeah.
Tim Schafer should not be doing a Kickstarter, in my opinion. He's got a pedigree. He's got enough there that he can go and make an indie title and get somebody to back him. Mahjong, whatever the case may be, because I believe he actually even contributed to.
Go to Steam, go to Sodi. Sodi is so indie hungry right now. They're
there's
begging
people
for
out
more
there
indies.
that would finance that.
Sony will pay for your game.
I also think that, in my personal opinion, I understand, stretch goals are fun and everything. There should be a hard cap on how much
They can
get. Boom, done.
My whole
If it costs you
there's a reason
$20,000 to make your new album, once we hit that goal, done.
Well, there are sites that do that. Kickstarter doesn't do that because Kickstarter takes 10% of your take, so they don't want to give you a cap because they're limiting their own income.
And there's no profit share. That is the single biggest problem with Kickstarter. If there was, even a small monetary compensation for your donate, you are the investor. You de facto become the bank on Kickstarter.
Well,
That's my single biggest issue.
You usually get the products.
It's not about the product. You're the one. This isn't a sale. You're not. Kickstarter is not a brick and mortar or an Amazon where you're going to physically purchase a product. You can see it if you kind of dilute the facts and all that shit. You are risking money on somebody's vision with no monetary gains in the future. It doesn't even have to be big. It could be a small little thing like, here, for $100, you are buying into my company. If we fail together, you're losing your money. Then you de facto become kind of like the stock market. And if we win, if this thing takes off, if it's a huge smash hit on Kickstarter, we all win. You're going to start making money on your $100 investment. That is the single biggest problem.
I agree with larger contributions to Kickstarter. I think for like $20 you can't expect to get anything back. They do take larger contributions.
Why not? Shares, you could buy shares of major companies for $6, $7, $8.
Good luck actually getting those shares for $6, $7, $8.
Okay, not Apple or Google.
No, I'm not
or
talking about
Microsoft
that. I'm not
or McDonald's.
Good luck
but
finding.
you can go
Good luck
like
finding a
to
broker.
AutoZone.
Good luck finding a broker who's gonna take your $6. Is what I'm saying.
E-Trade does it.
They'll take $6.
Yes.
Really.
E-Trade.
They don't have a minimum purchase.
The online
amount.
broker.
They
E-Trade
don't make you
will
put
do
in a certain amount first and say, "I'm going to spend at least $50."
They want you to. Maybe, but I don't know.
There is a starting point.
Maybe
that
like
won't-
$20 or $30. I don't know.
I think that
E-Trade will let you do whatever you want.
I think this steamrolls into another, and I know we've done some fireside chats regarding it, but I think this warrants a larger discussion, just like the internet does.
I didn't mean for all these.
Write it down.
I didn't mean for all these to be so long.
No, I mean, it's okay.
This is our biggest news in a lot.
I know.
I think we're almost at the end of our show, like typically.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're getting close. I've got 3 more. These should all be quickies. Ultra Street Fighter 4 will feature YouTube integration, which is nice because that's what everybody really wants anyway. Minecraft for PS3 sold 1 million in the first month.
Good for them.
God, that fucking train is just not slowing down.
No. And finally, in a bit of sad news, an NVIDIA marketing manager was killed attempting to rescue someone from train tracks last week.
I didn't hear about that at all.
Yeah, someone had fallen on the train tracks. And
did he save the person, or did they both die?
The marketing manager died. The person that he got from the tracks is in critical condition. So that person may not make it either.
They probably gave them a better chance than what they had.
The manager was Philip Scholes, January 20th, at the Santa Clara Cal train station in California. Scholes laid on his stomach and attempted to help pull the man to safety just before the train hit both men around 5:30 p.m. at 50 to 70 miles per hour.
Oh, God.
Scholes was killed, while the man he helped remains in critical condition at the hospital. The person's identity has not been released.
He's got a better chance than what he had.
Yeah.
That's going to suck.
I hope he's not a scumbag.
If they both fucking die, then that was a wasted life.
Yeah.
That's
the Batman of the week.
the Batman of the week.
Segment. The Batman of the week.
All right.
Well then, speeding this no pun intended train along.
Bad choice of words.
Forward compatible. We're classy.
Fell off the rails.
Fell off the rails a little bit. Sorry.
Oh man, that's bad.
Hey, it was a segue, right? Well, I guess it's time for.
All right. Oh God. Is it time for?
That was my mark.
Oh man.
I didn't organize these at all again, as usual. So I apologize if I happen to miss anybody's questions. Nick Kuntz.
What's up, Nick?
He said, "What do you guys think? Your voices started like." Or, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase this. He wants to know, compared to when we started to now, what we think how our voices were and we presented ourselves was. I know, I'm pretty sure Bryan kind of echoes my sentiment. I can't stand the sound of my voice on.
I want to punch myself in the face every time I hear my
Here's
voice.
where Tony's ego goes.
No, I don't care. Mine was, I never got a problem listening to my own shit. The content, I think, got way better. We were still trying to feel it out for quite some time. Like, we'd have
Episode 50.
We'd have like jokes and like stuff like that, but I was always like not sure what we could say and what would like turn people off, and you keep testing the waters and you keep pushing the boundaries, and we've hit this point where like we just fucking say whatever. It's just like talking to our friends, and like people seem to enjoy it, you know? Like if you try to be super like I listen to some podcasts and they're like super professional, and like some people, like one guy will like make a joke and like the head guy or whatever right away, like all right, let's get back on topic. And it makes for like a more boring show and a more boring discussion. And the more we push the boundaries and see that it turns out fine, we get more comfortable in our element, and I think that it makes the show better and more entertaining.
And more of our actual personalities tend to come out a little bit more too.
Yeah, so whereas in the beginning, I mean, I'm still proud of what we did back then, but I think the show's always evolving and always getting better, not worse. I don't think we're backtracking at all. So I look at it and Bryan's like, you guys should have stopped after episode 20. So that's my personal.
Okay. Lysios did have a question to follow up on a question from a couple weeks ago.
Who?
Lysios.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Involving,
that guy.
involving our quick little discussion about bronies.
Okay.
He wanted to hear us discuss it a little bit more. Unfortunately, there is a documentary on Netflix. I know I am the only one that has watched it. So I've told him that I would ask you guys, if you take an hour out of your week, check it out so that we can come back and actually discuss it a little bit more, because it does have a lot of comparisons to how people perceive the video game industry in almost a negative light.
What's the name of the documentary?
It's called The Bronies.
I want to jump in real quick. This show has taught me a lot about shit that I don't know exists. Like, I know somebody showed me game theory. I had no idea what a fucking brony was until this show, and somebody asked us about it. It might have been like it was like way back when. Like, what do you guys think about it, or are you guys? Or somebody asked something about bronies, and I didn't know what the fuck it was. And then somebody asked me about what was that other thing? What do they call it? Furries. I didn't know what the fuck a furry was. Like, I don't even know this shit is out there.
This show, and I'm
learning too.
I'm not speaking at a negative light to you, but this show and video games is Tony's nerd outlet.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, you football, hockey, cars.
Yeah. Sure.
You're kind of a jock.
It's true.
No offense.
I don't care.
Okay. You don't have 27 Batman symbols tattooed on you.
I do not. That I do not.
Have you ever been to a Comic-Con?
No.
See, that's so.
I don't like comics too much. They're okay, yeah.
Again, that's just a namesake.
Yeah.
So my goal this coming year is to nerd Tony up a little bit more.
I never did Pokemon up until what 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. So I want Tony's like this fresh avatar to expose all these weird and interesting things. I mean, like,
a blank palette.
You know Star Wars, sure.
I like Star Wars a lot.
You know, let's expand upon that. I want Tony to experience more of the nerd culture outside of gaming a little bit. Yeah, you're not into comic books, but you go to a comic book convention, you're gonna be able to tell that guy's, he's dressed up as Wolverine.
I know Wolverine.
So on and so forth. Just kind of general speaking, you know.
I like Batman.
But I get a real big kick because I've taken some friends and family to their first comic book conventions and things like that, and just kind of gauge the reaction. That's like me going by myself to a comic book convention. It's like, okay, I've seen Fat Black Captain America before. You know, he's been here before. Hey, look, there's Virgil, the washed-up '80s wrestler. You know, oh, hey, look, Luke Ferrigno. No big deal. They're there every year. You know, some things stay the same. But seeing it with a fresh perspective is kind of what gets me to giggle. Like, Tony's like, what the fuck is that?
The fuck?
Furry, you know, stuff like that. So I definitely, that's one of my goals for the coming year is to get Tony a little bit out of his gaming comfort zone and experience a little bit more of this vast culture that is out there.
Yeah. Rock on. So I have no idea. I guess I'll check this out. It's an hour.
It's
sure.
About an hour and a half.
Somebody remind me in the week.
Yeah.
I'll watch. I got nothing to do.
And I'm sure I can convince Mark too. He's a little bit younger, so he's a little. He's a little bit more on.
Mark knows more about that kind of shit than I do.
Yeah.
Like, I never got into Dragon Ball because it was a little bit after my time. Like,
shit.
And Power Rangers. That stuff was after our time, dude.
It was after my time, but I'm older than you guys a little bit,
Power
right?
Rangers debuted in '93. You were 9.
No. Really?
Yeah, Power Rangers is pretty old. I was in
Was I already getting out of cartoons? No, that's impossible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, I would believe that you would be getting out of cartoons though, because I had to pretend I didn't like cartoons for a few years because none of my friends were into it. I was the only one.
Like, I remember watching like when I was really young, it was like He-Man and Transformers.
Yeah, He-Man, Transformers, Thundercats, Silverhawks, all that stuff.
I never liked Thundercats.
I hate He-Man and Transformers. I love fucking Ghostbusters, Thundercats, and Ninja Turtles.
The real Ghostbusters were the shit.
And then as I was getting a little older, it morphed into Turtles and Rugrats and Doug.
Yeah,
see Rugrats and Doug was like Nickelodeon. That was Nickelodeon. I didn't have cable.
That was
like,
for me. And then, Power Rangers would have been. You would have caught like maybe Gen 1, Gen 2.
Yeah, but see, I guess maybe I wasn't
Dragon Ball, on the other hand, On Fox, Saturday afternoons at 12, after their normal block of cartoons, you'd have all the normal stuff. Then you'd have that Karate Fighter show. And then you'd have Dragon Ball.
Yeah, see, I don't know. Maybe it was just like...
Cartoons followed me into high school. Like, me and my friends, we watched Pokemon before... Like, it would come on at 8. Class was at 9. We'd sit around and watch Pokemon, go to school, on the way to school, smoke cigarettes. After school, get back, watch Dragon Ball on Toonami. That was,
Well, Toonami kind of brought it back because when I was... Toonami did not exist when I was in high school. Well, I think like my last year of high school.
Yeah, I mean, because you're not that much older than me, and that was freshman year for me, so...
Yeah, well, because like my buddy in '98, Dimitri, started watching Dragon Ball Z.
Dimitri, the guy who does our
Music.
song,
Yeah.
you can check out his work. It's linked right on our main page, which is forwardcompatible.com, FWD compatible. He is digital Dima, D-I-M-A, at...
on About Me.
Yeah.
About.me.
Yeah, there you go. Check him out. You can play one of his songs right off our page also. Yeah.
He's also on SoundCloud, although I don't know his name on SoundCloud. It might be
Our
Selfish
Game of the
Boy.
Year, all those awesome songs you heard, that's him.
He was
Also
the one
did our logo.
He is the one who... Come on, more! No. He was the one who told me about Toonami.
Just celebrated a birthday yesterday?
Yes, I
Happy
was
birthday?
there. Yeah. He was the one who told me about Toonami. I didn't have cable. My family did not have cable growing up. My parents were very against that. But he would tell me about Toonami and Dragon Ball Z because they started airing Dragon Ball Z on Toonami. Dragon Ball is actually very old. It's from like the 80s in Japan.
Yeah.
It's really old. And there's like 600 episodes or something like that. It's crazy long. But half the episodes are...
No. Hold on.
What were they like?
What were
they like?
If we're gonna go there, all right. I just pulled a Stallone.
I saw that, yeah.
If we're gonna go there, the original Dragon Ball series, with Goku as a kid, did not have all that crazy.
No. It
power
was Z.
shit.
It was Z.
Z, and it was probably
The later
a
episodes.
third into Z.
Yeah.
Not well.
Around the Frieza saga, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit before, but
Yeah.
Frieza Saga, and then GT was horrible.
Didn't even watch it.
It's horrible. But now they're bringing it back.
And aren't they like recutting it to make it like not
They
ridiculous?
did Dragon Ball Kai. They cut out 193 episodes.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the power up episodes. It's the filler and the flashbacks.
There's
so
a
they kind of condensed
that.
it.
Yeah.
One of the greatest filler episodes ever is when Goku and Piccolo go to get their driver's license. They cut that out.
That's it. Okay.
True story. True story. A big green guy and a dude with crazy hair who are karate fighters out in the woods go to get their driver's license.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that showed a lot of filler. And a lot of it was just people going,
Really quick, little interesting fact.
I hope the camera picks up your face.
One
while
of the
you
people
do
who
that.
did the
That's
voice of
awesome.
Goku actually passed out in the sound booth from
doing
trying to do one of the yells.
I believe it. They
Yeah.
went nuts. They were crazy, man. Yeah.
All right. We're gonna kick it over to Andrew Dillon.
Mr. Dillon.
Andrew's got a question for us. So, what is the worst cutscene that you have had to sit through in a game?
Worst as in worst, or worst as in worst best?
Worst. We're gonna go with worst.
I don't usually stop those games halfway through and forget about them.
I mean, it
got
depends
mine.
what you're classifying as a cutscene. If it's just any old thing, half of the NES library was really bad. But if you're talking like a real cutscene, something from the last 2 generations, I need a minute to think about it.
Okay, so here you go. All right, well, these guys think of theirs. There's this game. And see, this event takes place where it's a cutscene. You're going out under a roof. Okay?
Resident Evil 5, he's talking about.
Going toward 6.
5.
Going towards a helicopter.
6 was good. 5 was the bad
Going
one.
towards a Don't make me start ranting here, okay? All right. You take 3 steps towards a helicopter. Back into another fucking cutscene. Okay? It's not. I mean, I know Final Fantasy is notorious for like 30-minute cutscenes and these big cinematic, but cutscene of dude breaking through onto the roof. You take control of the character again. You take 3 steps. Another fucking cutscene. Tony, true or not true?
It's true. This happens.
And I'm not saying anything. We all know my opinion on Resident Evil 6, but that game has the most obscene cutscenes because it's bad timing. You're in the mine carts, it goes to a cutscene of them ducking down instead of you just ducking, you know, and then you're back in action, you're shooting, and then another cutscene of them ducking down. So why can't I just push fucking B and have them duck? Why do you have to cut to the cinematic cutscene and take me out of the element of the game to show me a little fucking video that I just saw 30 seconds ago? Same fucking video.
I don't know. I'm having a hard time.
The ones that really stick in my head are the ones that are so bad they're good.
We'll throw one of them out.
Like in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, all the cutscenes are awful. But it comes with, you get these classic lines like, "What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets!" And you steal men's souls
there's some
and
really
make them
cryptic,
your slaves.
There's some really weird cryptic fucking dialogue in those games.
And
all your base are belong.
well, that's just bad translation. I mean, that's just if you want bad translation, just
all your base,
play 20 minutes of Final Fantasy VII. It's a terrible translation. Everybody loves Final Fantasy VII. The translation is awful. Anyway,
Cloud's actually the bad guy.
well, it's not that bad.
I know
but-
there's a weird one from 10 that everybody loves that I think's just weird.
What, the laughing thing?
No, the what's their name? Uni and
Yuna and Titus.
Uni
Yeah.
and Titus, yeah. They had that.
Titus.
They have
That's
that.
called Titus.
They had that makeout scene in the water, and it's like it starts off kind of cool, where they're coming in close, and it's like kind of like I guess as close to romantic as you're gonna get in a video game, and then it just goes like downhill. It gets real cheesy. They like this awful Japanese music's playing in the background, and they just start twirling and like floating up into fucking space because this kiss is just so ridiculously magical, and there's these crazy fucking particle effects going on in the background.
I'm really sad.
Are you familiar with the
I'm
scene?
really sad that you don't understand love, Tony. I'm just kidding.
You do know the scene.
I was like,
referring to,
Fuck already!
I played Final Fantasy X. I played all the way through it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it started off cool, and you know they could have just made out for a little bit and had some soft music playing and left it at that.
Well,
and I thought it would have been more empowering than this crazy fucking thing that went on.
Final Fantasy X, I feel, it was Square's first attempt at voice acting. So I think they were trying to go a little bit further than they normally do with their cutscenes, even though they're known for over-the-top cutscenes in general, or they were before they went to shit. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole. You haven't played the game, right? You're talking about the scene, that cutscene.
Yeah. No, I played a little bit of it. I didn't get to that
Because
part.
like Yuna is like a summoner, and she has like magic powers that let her float and shit like that. So in the story of the game,
He's a fucking ghost!
he is a ghost. That's true as well. You don't find that out until the end, but he's a ghost.
I
Tidus is a
hated
ghost.
that game. I didn't understand.
Did you
what the
play
fuck
through
was-
it?
Yeah.
I never knew you played any Final Fantasy games.
Inside joke. Nobody's gonna get. I borrowed Manny's copy.
Manny.
Yeah.
Oh, Manuel.
He's like, you gotta play it. It's the great. I'm like, what the fuck? No, I don't understand anything.
played-
They're playing fucking football in a bubble.
I hated that
I
blitzball
played-
shit.
I played 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 10 a little bit, and 13 for a few hours, and I was like, wow, this is 13-1. And I was like, wow.
I played almost all of them. I mean, 1 through 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. 6 is my favorite by far. I think it has the most,
6 is good.
it has the most interesting characters. It has the most interesting story, in my opinion. 7 is where they really started getting into doing like the crazy like CG,
You know-
and I think it detracted from the overall
You know
game.
what the greatest Final Fantasy game is? Super Mario RPG.
It is a Final Fantasy. It was made by Square. It was very Final Fantasy influenced. There's even a hidden Final Fantasy boss in that game.
There's Link too.
Link's in it. Samus is in it. Yeah. But Final Fantasy X was where they tried to add in voice acting, and I don't think they did a great job of it.
You know what the second best Final Fantasy game is? Dragon Warrior.
That's not Final Fantasy. Also,
Same art
it's-
style as
it's
the guy who did
Dragon
Dragon Ball.
Quest. Yeah, it's Akira Toriyama, or All My Women Look the Same, because they all do.
Fine.
12 was unfortunate because 12 could have been awesome, and they fucked it up. We're totally off topic.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
We good?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right.
I have no idea. I nowadays with the internet, it's easier to stay away from garbage games. Like lately, the last 2-3 years, I've been blown away by pretty much everything I've played. Cutscenes are getting better and better.
There was some game that came out in sometime between 2002 and 2004. So it was when I was working at GameStop. It was out, and this is a Civic, and it was some kind of game about hunting down Osama. And there's some crazy rap at the end about how you're gonna hunt down. I don't remember. It was really bad. But anyway, I can't
We
really
got
remember
some
it.
quick BS facts, and then we'll be
Okay.
able to wrap it up here, okay? Coming in from Andrew Dillon. This is from, I believe it is episode 26,
Okay.
August 2012. He said, Jason says, the Ouya will live up to its hype.
Ah,
It doesn't sound like me. I'm not positive about anything.
He's really not.
But
it has not lived up to. It hasn't even lived up to the non-hype.
Mark says, the new Xbox will have 4 to 6 gigs of RAM. What does it have?
8.
8? He's wrong.
Suck it, Mark.
Although it only has like 4.5 or 5 available to the gaming. The other 3 are reserved.
Some rumors had come out.
No points.
Some rumors had come out regarding the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
So we all changed our guesses on the price. Okay, I said between $350 and $400. Obviously, I was wrong. Mark said $350. He was wrong. Tony's initial prediction for Xbox One price. Anybody want to take a guess?
I probably said 400 or 500.
600.
I said 400. 400.
So I was the closest.
Tony, Mark, and Jason. So the trifecta.
Uh-oh.
All agreed
Uh-oh.
that Tony would buy the Ouya on day one.
Well, we went over this. Jason was also supposed to buy a Wii U, so we're shunning this.
I still have time to buy a Wii U.
I still plan to buy a fucking Ouya.
No, there's your Ouya.
There's more games for that than for the Ouya.
Exactly. I said that Fable 2 had the worst ending of a story ever. The final, I remember that. It was talking about the
I like
final
the end of
boss.
Fable 2.
The final boss fight.
Oh, a little anticlimactic.
Little.
Yeah, a little bit.
If you don't shoot the motherfucker, then Reaver shoots him. That's it. That's how it ends. That's it. So that is our anticlimactic end of episode 103, part 1.
Yeah. All right, this has been episode 103, part 1. Again. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch us next week, same time, same place.